Hi, this video will hopefully address the question, I finished my initial assessment, I have this pie, now what in the world do I do? So after you complete your initial assessment, ALEKS has determined what topics you know and what topics you don't know. This course has 312 topics. That may seem like a lot, but in a traditional course you might have to cover 8 chapters. Each of those may have 6 sections, so that's 48 sections. Each of those might have 5 or 6 objectives. So, it is not uncommon to have that many topics in a course. So it might be a little bit of a shock to say, wow, I'm learning 312 things, but that's typical of what you do in a class. Once you complete your initial assessment, you're going to get this pie. Your goal is to finish as much of these 312 topics as you can, because remember that 20% of your grade comes from how many topics you finish in ALEKS. Obviously, the more you finish, the more successful you're going to be on the final exam and the compass. So completing these topics is really important. How do you know where to work? One way are these dotted white lines. The way that the committee that created this course set this up is to say that, well, we don't want to have everything open on the first day because that's kind of overwhelming. And so we divided this pie into 10, really 11 modules. There's a module 0 that's kind of like the arithmetic skills that are prerequisite to all of this content. So think of it as 11 modules that you have to complete. The dotted lines represent the content of those modules. So notice that one module might cover more than one pie slice. So your goal, remember that the solid part or the darker shade represents what you already know. You're trying to fill it up to reach the white dotted line. To do that, if you hover over the pie slice, you're going to see some of these topics that you don't know yet. It says you know 27 of 53. So what, there's 26 you don't know yet. Well, you're not necessarily going to see all 26 of those in this list because some of the topics are a prerequisite to other topics in that pie slice. As you complete more and more of the topics, the others will become revealed to you. The way ALEKS works is it doesn't want to present you a topic unless it can give you a good chance of being successful. To be successful, you need to know all of the prerequisite knowledge to it. So just keep that in mind. It's not just the things that are linkable for you right now when you hover over the pie slices. There may be other things that will become available. But down at the bottom, you can tell exactly where you stand. The dotted line represents your current objective, and it's due in 5 days, and you have 31 topics left to master. So that means I need to do about 6 topics a day to be able to get through that by the due date. Now keep in mind these due dates are suggested due dates. If you want to get through the course in 1 semester, you need to really adhere to these due dates. It is not unreasonable for you to take 2 semesters to get through this material. Don't beat yourself up if you're going at a slower pace. The one great thing is that whatever you complete this semester, if you don't get through everything, the next time you take the course, ALEKS will remember it and will start you off at that point. You don't have to redo everything that you've done this semester. Do what works best for you. I realize some of you are juggling a full-time job, family, full-time load at school, so it may just not be possible. But commit as much time as you can to the class. I would love for you all to get through the semester and be successful, but if you're not, that does not mean you're a failure, okay? It just means it's life, and things sometimes get in the way of our plans. Now, what happens if you don't meet this deadline? Let's say you don't meet all of the 31 topics in the 5 days. Well, the way ALEKS will work is that it will automatically open up the next set of topics to you that are in Module 2. If there is a topic in Module 1 that is prerequisite to something in Module 2, that topic will remain open to you. It's not like that when you miss a deadline you're missing an opportunity to work on material. It will be there. If it's a topic that's needed for something in Module 3, then it will come open in Module 3. if it's a topic that's not needed for anything else in the course, it's going to come open at the very end of the semester. So there's always going to be a point in this semester where you can access some material that was given to you in those first few modules. Now keep in mind, each module has about 30 topics. So the more you don't get to by the due date, that means the more you're going to have to complete in the next set of due dates. So it's going to build, and it may kind of get out of control if you don't manage each of the modules by the due dates. Now what happens if you move ahead? Let's say you already know all of these topics in this module. That's okay. The next module will automatically open up to you. So you're just going to focus on wherever the white dotted lines are for you. If you hover over the topics, you'll see exactly where you need to go. So let me talk about what this means. If I hover over one of my pie slices, I see I need to do, I'll just choose prime numbers. The way ALEKS works is that it presents you a problem. It gives you an opportunity to say, you know what, I really know this. I for some reason forgot it on the initial assessment. I know this. I don't need to look at the book. I don't need to look at a video. I don't need a lecture on this. I'm just going to go ahead and do it. And that's fine and good. Anything that's a link will open you up to some other explanation about that. Really good resources, some dictionaries kind of built in here. So it says to put a check by all the prime numbers. So I know 2, 19, 23, 29 are all prime. I'm going to click next. And it says, good, you got it right. If you answer it 2 more times without help, I'll add it to your pie. So I click practice. This time I'm going to mess up. Let's say 6, 17, 21, 23. And I click next. So it tells me 1 or more of my answers are incorrect. I'm just going to click next because maybe I don't know. Well, I don't know what they are. So I'll click explain. And so it tells me exactly in the explanation why a number is or is not prime. And it shows me what the answer is. Also, when I click explain, notice that you'll get an ebook link. You can access the ebook at any time by clicking on the ebook link at the top. If you click on it within the explain feature, it will take you exactly to the section that you're working on. And it will talk about the concepts here. So you could go through the objectives that you need to talk about. Here's a prime number. The book will give you a lot of definitions, a lot of worked examples, an opportunity to kind of check yourself. And the solutions are at the back of the section, so you can check your work there if you want to do that. Supplementary resources contain links to videos that you can go through and look at. And also these videos are 3 types: a lecture video, working some specific exercises or examples, and then troubleshootings are ones that I've created to kind of address the common mistakes that students make. So notice then that I look at all this information in the help and then I go back to practice. And now I need to answer the problem again. So let's say 11, 17, 23, and I click next. After I use explain, the clock gets reset. So then I'm going to have to start from scratch trying to get 3 problems correct without that help. So it's showing me, yep, you've done it again. Let's do one more. Okay, it says, great, you've learned this question. You can practice it if you want by clicking more practice, or you can go back to your pie by clicking done. And notice that when I return, I have 43 topics that I've mastered, and that I've added another piece to the pie slice for the arithmetic readiness. So my job is just to continue going through these topics. These topics in each pie slice are going to be related, but if you get tired of working at that, go to the other pie slice. As long as it's within one of those that you can access, it really doesn't matter the order in which you do these. Sometimes, in fact, ALEKS will say, okay, this topic is not working for you, why don't you try something else? So it might even tell you to stop working on that and go elsewhere. Now, how can you use what I provided for you in the course, in the iCollege course? In the iCollege course, notice that under course content there is a module folder for each of the modules in ALEKS, and it tells you the topics in ALEKS that you're supposed to learn. It tells you some ways that you can use the textbook to be successful. And this last thing is a module assignment. So the module assignments is kind of this checklist of what topics you need to do in ALEKS. I would suggest that you print this. Click the print icon and it's printed, and I printed it as a PDF. And what I would do then is check off the topics from ALEKS that you know, and then it's going to be kind of clear to you what you need to focus on. The checklist will also provide where in the textbook this material is. So for instance, integers and rational numbers is in section 1.1 under the first objective. So if I go back to ALEKS for a minute, notice that there's a feature at the top called Report. And I can look then at exactly all of the topics that I can do. And so I'm going to use this in conjunction with that checklist and check off the topics that I know how to do. Now some of these topics may not be in just Module 1. You might have topics here that you already know that are in later modules, but that's okay. Just try to find the things that are in Module 1 so that you know how to focus your efforts to get through these first few modules. Also, I want to show you down at the bottom your history. And if you click the link for topics, you can put it in terms of that 312 if you would like. But it tells me in the blue what my assessment score was. The green is how much I've been learning, and the yellow are the things that I still have to learn. It also will tell you, if you click on time and topic, you don't really have to worry about Common Core. It will tell you exactly how much time you've been in ALEKS, and I can see this for each of you. If you click on the 2 topics that you've attempted, it will tell you exactly what topics you've looked at, what topics you've mastered, what you haven't. So I can see pretty much everything that you're doing in the system and how long it's taken you to do that. One other thing I forgot to tell you is if you need help, let's say you're stuck on a problem and in the middle of it you don't know what to do. Well, if you click your inbox, you're going to be able to compose a letter to me, and then you're going to have to say I need help or whatever you want to say, and type the message to me, and down at the bottom gives you an option to attach the page. So that's going to be the page of what you were working on, and you can say done, and then it's going to send that message to me. So I hope this gives you a good idea of what you need to be doing in ALEKS right now, but email me if you have questions. Thanks.